Right now, are you ready to roll? Well, if you're a Fat Tire biker counting down the days until winter starts, listen to this. Michael Sobek is live at Love and Bicycles in Negaunee with what you need to know to kick off your season right. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Mandy. For all of the Fat Tire bikers out there that are just praying for snow, you're really wanting to get on those trails. I hear you. As a snowboarder, I'm looking forward to getting on some fresh snow, but there's a lot of time before that snowfall hits and sticks around, so you want to get that bike ready to go. But if you're new, there's a lot of learning to go on. But if you are someone who is a veteran, John, and they're really excited, what are some quick reminders that they should have in the back of their mind before they hit those trails?
Certainly number one is going to be to check your tire pressure. You know, if you're sinking into the tread of the trail more than an inch or so, then your pressure's too high. You need to let some air pressure out and make that tire flatten out and get good traction.
That's a huge one, but if someone's new, they're looking to get on a Fat Tire bike, they've never touched one before, what should they know? Where should they start?
Yeah, they should, I mean, certainly throw your leg over a bike and see how it fits. Take it for a test ride and spin it around. You want to know that you're comfortable on it and it fits well before you get into the woods on a trail and conditions get a little hairy.
So looking at the bike we have in front of us right here, what are some of the first things that are going to be maybe some big differences compared to traditional bikes that a newbie's going to want to look out for?
Yeah, the number one, of course, like we were just talking about, is clearance. Sort of how much room do you have when you're standing over the bike so that you can, you know, have some space between you and the bicycle should you need to jump off in a hurry. And then after that, you know, you're looking at things like just tire width, and that's really going to define sort of how much traction you've got. A lot of fat bike tires run from, say, 3.8 on up to 4.8 or even bigger.
Now, some of those bigger bikes versus the smaller bikes, you talk about that tire difference. How does that play a factor on the trail itself?
I mean, the number one thing is just going to be traction and engagement, you know, in terms of how the tire meets the tread, whatever that trail is. So bigger tire is just going to stick more, but you're also pushing more weight. You know, you're pushing more rubber around, and so it can be a little bit slower going.
Now, this one's a different tire. We looked at the first bike earlier this morning, and it was studded. Now, this is studless.
Yeah.
What factors does that play into someone wanting to consider their first bike?
So, you know, a lot of times on a first bike, you're going to end up with tires without studs. They're just a lot less expensive. Studded tires grip really well in icy conditions, kind of the more treacherous conditions, things that tend to come into play later in the season after we've had a good snow and then things have either warmed and frozen again. But, you know, tires like this are going to grip really well. It's just the studded tires have more traction.
A little bit more traction. They've got that stud in there that helps. Yep, just like a car. It's a great way of explaining it. But obviously tires are a big factor. But for those who are veterans and are wanting to encourage some new people into the sport, what's a little bit of advice you have for them?
Try it out. You know, there are pretty much all the shops around offer some kind of rental option. You know, we've got bicycles that you can rent for part of a day or a whole day, and you can get into a new bike for under $1,000. So there's lots of opportunities in that, as well as pre-loved bicycles. You know, we do a lot of used fat bikes, and you know, we've got great options kind of all over in terms of price range.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me this morning, John. If you're looking for a recap on what we talked about this morning, I'll have that on our website at uppermichigansource.com. It's back to you in the studio.
So informative and so many good choices there at Love and Bicycles. Thank you so much, Michael. Your top stories are on the way.
When we come back.